This retrospective is of course the zeitgeist shifting moment that started this whole, what would I call it, escalation, and that would be the murderous political assassination of Charlie Kirk, a retrospective, of course, with Momma Occo, because Momma Occo did make a video about this this sad situation. And from what I can remember, Occo, despite the fact that I have a very bad memory, I don't think you took that event too well.
No, it definitely affected me. I would say, looking back, I probably have a different perspective than I did back then. But to be honest with you, I think a lot of people just look at that situation and are baffled to think that in recent times this is something that has happened. Now, to be honest with you, while it is something that has affected a lot of people, I think that a big slap in the face that I needed to have reminded of me is just this is not the first time that this kind of thing has been attempted. This is just the first time in more recent history that something was actually successful. And I think that's probably why a lot of people were as taken back or hurt by it, because before Charlie Kirk, the last guy that was a political opponent to ever get assassinated, I personally don't know of anybody in more modern last 20 years. And we've had healthcare people that were assassinated by other individuals, but this is the first political individual. And it's just I think people need to remember, because a lot of people the rhetoric is being turned up to 11. It's just no, it's already been there. This is just the first time they were successful doing it. And we need to remember that. And we need to prevent that for the future.
Definitely.
Okay, well, thank you for that, Occo. Now let's get a panel perspective, because it has been a few weeks since the tragic event happened. And it's always important to have a retrospective on these things, folks, because the landscape has completely shifted. In 16 days, look at what's transpired, for better or for worse. Was it 16 days?
It's been 2 weeks.
Yep. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. Yeah, well, it has been 16 days, yes.
Yeah, because 2 weeks from Wednesday is 14 days. So that'll be...
Well, let's ask Dash Attack, retrospective. Over 2 weeks on, what do you make of the murderous political assassination of Charlie Kirk?
Well, I think it's definitely had an impact on the entire country, and it's definitely had an impact on me. I've been just thinking things differently. I of course was really upset by individuals openly being giddy about the whole damn thing. I knew there were going to be some individuals when I heard that he got shot, because of course there are, it's the internet, but I think we were all staggered by the amount and just how open people were. And honestly, I've been a little bit relieved that the government is taking things very seriously. I hear the Soros Foundation is actually being investigated for terrorism now. Comey's been indicted, which I know is another topic for later. Things are the response has been very, very serious, and I think it needed to be, because what they did to Charlie, it didn't matter if it was him. If it was just anyone that disagreed with them, they'd be happy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it's very important to point that out, folks. Charlie was a moderate. He wasn't a radical.
Moderate.
Yeah.
He wasn't a radical.
He's pretty much middle of the road in a way in terms of the rights.
It's like me. So. I'm pretty center and stuff. I'm definitely would be considered a moderate.
I mean, he was still conservative, of course, but he would just.
Oh yeah, I definitely lean. It's just because a lot of the progressive stuff, I just detest.
But my mentor still has that clip of you saying you like giant penis. So you're definitely a moderate.
Listen, you can be gay and be on the right. It's totally fine.
Somehow. But Red.
There's more people than you think.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? It's because it's 2025 and the flood hasn't arrived yet. Galaxy Red, what do you make of 2 weeks on from the murderous political assassination? And I am calling it that because that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Rather than death or killing or some vague generic term.
Yeah.
What do you
that
make
was assassinated. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was
What do you
unclear.
make of it over 2 weeks on?
Well, I kind of feel like most of it kind of got a little worse in a way because of there's been more violence, obviously, more political violence since then from the left side. The left doing it, so that's kind of but it also had a little bit of good things happen too. I mean, because of well, it wasn't really a good thing for the funeral, but it was still they still had a good message at the funeral anyway. So like with Erica, Kirk, and everything. So
well, if you look at this, I was going to call you Charlie, but you're not dead. Galaxy, if you look at this purely from a political opportunistic perspective, the events of the past 2 weeks have been a massive advantage for the Republicans and for the right in the United States. Yes, Charlie is being made a martyr because if a prominent leftist in our space got shot dead, you bet your ass the left would be capitalizing on it. That's the nature of the landscape, not just in America, but across the Western world now. This has galvanized millions of people to not let Charlie's murder be in vain, and at the very least have his legacy be to inspire others to fulfill his ideal. I think the rapid growth of Turning Point USA is a fantastic achievement, as long as Ben Shapiro stays as far away from it as possible.
Yeah, I kind of didn't like
Blood Brothers.
That's one thing I kind of didn't like that when he grabbed the when he like him and who else is there? Someone from Daily Wire, someone else in Daily Wire was there with him at the Charlie Kirk show studio, and they like took over for for that one day or whatever. I can't remember who else was there.
Not a good sign. But what was Momma Rocco gonna say?
You said that you're Jewish. Shouldn't you be okay with Ben Shapiro doing that?
Well, I want it to be a fair fight. You see.
Oh, okay.
And I see a fair fight as Israel against the entire Arab world without the help of the United States. I think we could still win that. What's this? Dash.
Okay, this is from. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
This is from 2022, and I wanted to bring it up because I wanted to point out something I've said before. But as I said, the left has become like a serial killer. They start with small prey and they work their way up. This was 2 years ago that this
I can't remember this
18-year-old neighbor for wearing a MAGA hat. A couple years before that, during the Summer of Love in Seattle, a man was gunned down.
He had the MAGA hat on too for that.
A MAGA hat.
Yep.
And it's the small prey because you're not going to hear about this. Is going to fade from the news cycle as it did. Very few people remember this story because of the fact there have been no consequences for these people. Very little to no consequence, no severe consequences anyway. It is spare the rod, spoil the child. And what happens when you have something demented and they're continually allowed to get away with things, their prey gets larger and larger and larger. And this has escalated to the point where last year they almost assassinated Donald Trump, and this year taking a shot successfully this time at Charlie Kirk. And the sad thing about it, we're now 2.5 weeks or so removed from that, and it has ramped up. We just talked about the shooter that was trying to take out ICE agents. The reason Kimmel was let back on the air so quickly is because there were threats against Sinclair Medium Group and Nexstar that they were going to have shooters there. There was a active shooter at an ABC affiliate.
Yep.
So what's happening is the escalation is ramping up, and you're starting to see people bring up the fact on our side of the political spectrum, hey, the government does need to do something because they're going way too slowly. You're not really appeasing anybody. Oh, great. Whoop-de-doo. You got James Comey, and then you handed him to a Biden judge for this case that you got him in.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Comey should have been arrested 6 months ago or so. He should have been arrested when he did the 8647 nonsense.
Yeah, when he was like pretty much just a
perceived threat.
Yeah,
And-
perceived threat to Trump. Yeah.
By
Wait,
the
did
way,
they
so-
seriously get a Biden judge? I know that's
Yes,
like
they
a later.
did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, so Comey, you know what they're going to do to Comey? They'll take him, present him to the judge. Don't do that, and let him walk. That's
Yeah.
what's going to
Damn it.
happen. And,
Oh man,
Because,
he's
I'm-
gonna be
I'm-
so fucking smug about it
Well, there-
too.
there's a reason I say this towards the end of a network video, because towards the end of a video you can be more controversial. What the right politically, sorry to boil this down to politics, folks, because it's supposed to be an entertaining show, not a political one. But the thing in the West that the left have over the right, I'm sorry to say this during this topic, is the killer instinct. Because the left, for all of their faults, and they have so many, or one of them is not their political antenna. They know exactly what to do to maximize their potential. It's just the end goal is utterly insane, especially what they've got planned for you Americans, because you Americans, you destroyed the Soviet Union, which was their baby. And, they like killing babies, except for that one. But that's the thing you got to deal with. You've got to have that killer instinct. I know it's probably a poor choice of words considering the topic. But Jose, why don't you make your final point? Because I know,
because I'm gonna have to leave soon. But yeah, the thing about it is this: is that power is wielded by the one who knows how, and unfortunately, the left knows how. The right, they're not in power enough to know what to do with it. And there's this whole sort of thing. Oh, we need to be principled. We need to be principled. Yeah, your principle is going to get you put in a place you don't want to be put. Mainly the place that Ned Stark was in season 1 of Game of Thrones at the end of it. And so that's what principle gets you. You can stand on principle all you want, but until you start wielding the power, because again, it is a spare the rod, spoil the child moment, they're going to keep pushing it leftward and leftward and leftward. Bear in mind that the political right in America is just the left 20 years ago. The positions of Donald Trump and J.D. Vance and all these guys were the positions of Bill and Hillary Clinton when they were in office a long ass time ago. So what, now suddenly that's considered far right? So the left is still pushing that Overton window. It's a scary thing for me personally. The introspection that I've had since Charlie Kirk's passing is that, again, this was a guy who was a moderate, as the other members of the panel said. This could be any one of us for basically stepping out of line with the established order. This could be anybody. And as I showed y'all, would they bat an eye? Charlie Kirk was, unfortunately to them, big prey. A lot of us, not so much. If one of us just got disappeared, maybe it'd be a news cycle for like a day. And so this is going to embolden a lot more leftist political violence. And I would say that people need to stay safe. You need to keep your loved ones close. That's what I'm about to do. Because, even my girlfriend has told me, look, she knows that I create content. And she's like, the first thought in my mind is, if somebody gets mad enough, this could happen to you. Look, it almost happened to me without somebody knowing I was a content creator. I'd still have
you got bricked
cuts on
by a black man.
Yes, exactly.
We're gonna go